So tonight I watched a movie that I wanted to see for a while because I watched A Fish Called Wanda, which is a really great comedy with John Cleese, Jamie Lee Curtis, Kevin Kline, and Michael Palin. And it was a really funny comedy, and I really enjoyed it a lot. And a lot of people loved A Fish Called Wanda. And then I found this out in the wild and did want to see Fierce Creatures, which is the not a sequel, but it is the second movie with the same cast, basically the same crew, and the same writers. Basically, everybody's the same in this movie, but it's a different plot and different characters. So it is another movie with the same cast of A Fish Called Wanda, but with another story and with different characters. So going into Fierce Creatures, this one was one that I had no idea what I would think going into it because it got positive reviews. Like, it looked like would be totally fine. The thing I heard the most before I watched this was that it wasn't as good as A Fish Called Wanda. And coming out of the movie watching it, yeah, this is not as good as A Fish Called Wanda. I think this is not as funny. But the basic plot of this movie is that it's about these people who work at a zoo where they keep dealing with shenanigans while the director, they're trying to get rid of the director, John Cleese, who is the director of the zoo. Because John Cleese wants to, marketing-wise, he wants to make the zoo just have dangerous animals because that's what attracts people. He wants people to watch dangerous animals. Like, the only fierce creatures that are in the zoo. He doesn't want any nice animals. So all these people are dealing with this crazy guy who's literally getting rid of these animals, trying to get them back, not understanding that fierce animals will create havoc where people get hurt, get injured. So that's the basic plot. And Kevin Kline and Jamie Lee Curtis's characters are trying to stop him and trying to get rid of him. So that's the basic plot. And it's weird with the humor for this movie, because this is a comedy. The humor with this movie for me is very hit and miss. Like, there are jokes where I thought were pretty funny, and then there were jokes where I just sat there like, oh, that's not very funny at all. I just thought that wasn't very, I don't know. Like, for example, there was a scene with Jamie Lee Curtis and Kevin Kline where, she goes into the other room and he takes off all his clothes except for his underwear, and then she comes in and she's like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, were we going to have sex? And she's like, no, I'm just going to get tea or something like that. And it's a joke where I thought would be more funny, but it just sat there oh, it wasn't that funny. But there were a lot of jokes that were funny, but jokes like that really did make me go, wow, they're not, they're trying, but I feel like the star power was one of the reasons why these jokes that didn't land for me should have landed. I thought that these stars would have made this more funny, but there's jokes in this where I just sat there it's because these actors are in it that they're trying to be this funny, but they didn't make me laugh at some of these jokes. Not to say the whole movie's like that. There are jokes that are funny and entertaining. Especially with John Cleese and trying to not understanding that just having dangerous animals at the zoo would cause havoc and cause people to get injured and hurt. I think that's really funny. And Jamie Lee Curtis and Kevin Kline and Michael Palin are funny too in the movie. There are just a lot of moments where it's jokes that fall flat. And it's weird. It's not the actors, it's not because of the actors, it's just the jokes I felt like they were trying too hard. If that makes sense. It's a drastic difference in humor in a lot of ways. It's not awful, but it's not amazing. It's just got some awkward spots of humor that aren't funny. Which is weird. And it's and these actors are all kind of caricatures of what they are in real life. Jamie Lee Curtis in this movie, a lot of the time she just got that smug smirk on her face that she does in she does in real life a lot, which is interesting. And then Kevin Kline is just wacky zany like he is in the other movie, in The Fish Called Wanda, and he's just zany. That's his character. He's zany. And John Cleese is just a weird guy who's got weird things going on, because he's the weird director who does these strange things at the zoo. But it kind of plays on what John Cleese does in other roles. He's just kind of acting weird. And Michael Palin, I kind of just forget that he's in this movie. Like, I just don't even think about him. But that's because that's the one actor that I'm not as familiar with as opposed to the other three. So it's nothing against him. It's just I kind of forgot about him in this movie, honestly. But yeah, besides that, this movie was just a mixed bag in humor. Like, it wasn't terrible. It's just some jokes landed, some jokes didn't. Like, I felt like they tried to be like A Fish Called Wanda, and I think they tried too hard, and it just failed in a couple aspects where it was just awkward humor. Because A Fish Called Wanda is way more funnier than this, and I really enjoyed that more. And I should review this on this channel eventually, because I do like that movie a lot. I just reviewed this because it's my first watch, and I want to review every movie I watch just because. Like, I think it's fun. So this basically Fierce Creatures overall was just a kind of forgettable mixed bag. Like, there wasn't anything fantastic about it. All these actors have been in better roles, but they're totally serviceable in this for the most part. So overall, this one was just kind of a forgettable movie. So if you guys have seen this, tell me down below what you think of it. You might love it, you might hate it, I don't know. I was just mixed on it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below.